Hey everybody, this is The Table, the podcast where people you know tell stories you don't. And nobody knew this was going to happen. So
No.
I'm your host, Franco Gamolicalo.
Oh yeah, I'm your co-host Reese Berligan. Whoops.
And today we have 4 guests, or technically 5.
4.
Yeah, so the power of the internet. So we got Samuel, Andrew, Jack, Elise, and maybe Jack's girlfriend, Fosty.
She's downstairs, but she'll be here in a second.
So we're all seniors. How are we feeling? They just announced that school was canceled for the end of the semester.
We
I
did.
mean, yeah, I'm a little upset
I mean-
because I wanted to have prom and graduation, but I get it, gotta be safe.
And honestly, like how things would have been if they had tried to get us to go back to school, it kind of would have sucked because they would have made us like stay apart and all that. So I guess it's better to just kind of continue how we have been. I mean, you can wake up at like 10 o'clock, just chill all day because there's nothing to do.
10 o'clock today.
10 o'clock. I woke up at noon.
Bright and early.
I've been waking up at 1 and 2 every day because I don't have to wake up at 5 o'clock for a class anymore in the morning.
So good
Yeah.
now, just getting to sleep, and you're working at your own pace, honestly, with all the work they're giving us. Just do it whenever.
Yeah. And I was to a friend, and it's kind of funny because everybody, before this thing happened, we were all just waiting for prom. Nobody really wanted Project Prom because we were like, oh man, I don't want to be stuck somewhere until 5 a.m. with other people. But now it's like everybody already goes to sleep at 5 a.m. and they just want to be stuck somewhere with other people. So
Project Prom would have been
It's sort of
so
the same
fun.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It would have been so fun because we all would have been like, I'm not tired at all for the past 2 months. I've been staying up this late anyway. And then we get to see people and win stuff. It'd be awesome.
now I don't want to call you out, Andrew, but you're part of the prom committee, right?
I am part of the prom committee.
So have there been any talks of like what's going to happen now? Or
Nope.
is it kind of quiet?
Nope.
Just gone.
Because before today, the plan was that we were going to have prom and graduation, and everything was going to be super happy because we were going back to school May 4th. And that was all anybody said. And so now, who knows what's going to happen?
Well, there's talk of a
Do you think there's a possibility for like having prom later on in the year, like even if it's in the summer, if we're allowed to hang out?
My guess is graduation, just like a lot of colleges are doing, will end up being held in August. And whether or not it's like a full ceremony or partial, like smaller ceremonies, I think that'll happen in person. I hope we could do the same thing with prom. I guess you can't have a bunch of like smaller proms, but I hope that we're in a place to where we could have prom in like August.
Yeah, I do also think that if like we get to a point where we can have like small gatherings, I think a lot of people will, like within their own friend groups probably.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause I know like
Host
I
their
already
own.
had my prom dress. Like I
Yeah.
want to wear that. I want to take pictures and like hang out with all my friends. So maybe like the little groups will have their own like prom, which I think
Yeah.
would be fun.
And honestly, even if that's not a dance, like you can still go out and have a nice dinner and spend the night with your friends and everything.
Yeah. Well, there's also talks of that Spectrum Entertainment holding a private prom for Stratford and Memorial. And yeah, remember that those are the guys that said that we could possibly play at it. Our band could possibly play at
Right.
that prom. So it would be huge, and they'd be renting out like a giant warehouse to do it at. But it'd be like,
Well, yeah, that'd
Yeah.
only be if we're allowed to do something like that. So.
Yeah.
well, I mean, this would probably be in June, so this would be after the worst of it.
Although they're talking about minimizing like all concerts, group activities, anything like that for a year. So
Like
year?
throughout, yeah.
Longer.
Yeah,
I
A whole
think they were saying-
year. Oh my
They,
God.
they were saying we need to maintain
A
like
year to a
social
concert?
distancing until 2022 because they don't want it to respread again and then have to go back into quarantine.
Dude, I'm not.
it's really just until until a vaccine is done.
Yeah, definitely need a vaccine, and then also just the reason we don't know anything when like we'll be able to do anything is because we haven't hit the peak in the United States. So once we hit the peak, we're gonna actually be able to project dates and stuff accurately.
Until the peak
So we're just kind of waiting for that.
I thought the peak was supposed to be like today, wasn't it?
I don't
I
know.
wish.
It's different everywhere.
No, they said
Yeah, it's
Like
different.
Louisiana
It's different
is
in
saying
every.
they've already hit their peak, but we are nowhere. Like Texas is nowhere near where our peak is going to be.
Although we don't know what our peak's going to look like compared to the other states, just because we're so much different than other states because
Yeah.
we're so populated but so spread out. So
That's true.
we might end up just constantly saying our peak's going to be next week and the next week and the next week, and we might never have like a peak. It just might kind of continue as it is and then slowly go down.
So speaking about peaks, I just kind of want to mention how this all like started, and not necessarily say they were a fault, Jack, but how's it like going somewhere for spring break?
Oh, it wasn't bad at all. I mean, everybody was staying a decent like length away from each other on Miami Beach when I was there, and like it didn't really look dangerous. And like the beach, I mean, it's outside. It's like everybody going for walks now. Nobody was touching each other. Nobody was doing anything like that. I mean, people were scared, but it wasn't like any other vacation. It wasn't like unlike any other vacation. Honestly,
I think
airports were pretty sketchy.
I think that like what you said, the beach was like not that bad, but I could see like why they closed a lot of beaches, especially at spring break because of like college beach weeks and stuff like that. Because that is not social distance.
Well, Foster on South Beach for College Beach Week, like the biggest beach for colleges in the United States. So, yeah, it wasn't that bad, honestly.
I know, but I'm saying I know why they're like closing beaches. It's just to prevent that kind of stuff. And like I didn't go. Actually, at the beginning of spring break, I went to New Orleans because I'm going to college in New Orleans, and there was supposed to be an honors weekend there. It all got canceled. It was online.
Yeah.
But I ended up going, and it really wasn't that bad. Like everywhere was like there was still like seating in restaurants and stuff, but everything was spread out. Like they had reduced seating. And orchestra went to Disney just before, and people were just like cleaning like the planes and stuff, but it all seemed very like no one seemed too panicked or anything.
I think that happened after we went on the orchestra trip. It started to all just go downhill.
Yeah, it was immediately when we got back, everybody started to flip. The day I got back from Miami, like that's when I really noticed like everybody was kind of freaking out.
Although, honestly, I don't think the risks are a whole lot different from when we got back from Disney than where they are now. It's just people are acting a whole lot different about it. And a lot more people seem to be scared and taking precautions or not. They really are staying home and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
I
now
think
is
a lot of
finally
that,
when it's gotten across to people.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with like the American like mentality that we're bulletproof, nothing can hurt us.
Mm-hmm.
And people were just like, well, yeah, there's a virus over in Europe, there's a virus over in Asia, but like we'll be fine. And then obviously we were not going to be fine. And then like it actually started to get bad. And people were like, oh, okay, I guess I should stay at home.
Also, I think the influence of other countries, like when people saw that Italy like started closing down because the majority of the country had the coronavirus, and when it came to like here, the US, and people started panicking, but not that much because they're like, oh, it's just gonna be a few cases. But then once it started like multiplying, or if it came to their like home city, that's when they would like really get panicked and like go to Costco and buy the toilet paper that is out almost everywhere. Like I think now they're starting to finally get some more toilet paper.
So moving on to something more kind of positive, because we're all stuck in this thing, right? So what are some things that y'all have been doing to have fun or to stay positive? So let's just go one by one.
Well, there's a whole lot of things you can do. I mean, if you're locked in with your family, dude, you can just play board games with them or something. But honestly, I think my favorite way to keeping myself entertained has just been playing with my pets. I mean, staying inside, doing whatever with them. Like, I'm recording in my room, and I have a ferret running around. So if you see me, like, look off camera, it's because I'm looking at him. He's messing with my trash can. Yeah, just, like, spend more time with your pets because they'll appreciate it. And it's like, That's what I've been
Quality
doing with
time with
my
Munchie.
dog. I don't know. If you get lucky, I may walk downstairs and introduce you to her.
I would love
But
to.
yeah, just spend more time with your pets. These are the times to actually get to really know your family because everybody's like stuck together, and you're gonna see like who cracks first. So it'll really like bring out, I'm not gonna say the best in people because it's nowhere near the best, but we're gonna see who has the most like tolerance to others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been going on lots of walks with my dogs. I have 3 dogs, so there's lots of puppy energy. One of them is like a 5-month-old puppy, so all he wants to do is run around. So I've been hanging out with my dogs, working out, exercising, just trying to not just sit inside and do nothing all day or sit inside on my phone all day, trying to get outside. But, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, I've been spending a lot of time outside too, even if it's not like exercising, because I run a little bit, but even just going outside and reading or something like that is nice, and especially the past couple of days because we've had some great weather.
I've also been kind of focusing on myself, on my health, because I don't sleep that much during the school year. I don't get that much exercise just because I'm always like stressed and doing stuff for school. But now that we're at home and I don't have to worry about that, I get lots more sleep, so I'm more like energized throughout the day. I've been working out, going for walks, biking. We just bought like bikes like a month ago, so now we're finally getting to use them more. And I think it does help being with your family because like we're gonna go to college. Some of us may stay like close to home, but I'm going far, far away. So it's just nice to like spend time with my family before I go and like teach my brother things that I usually do, but I'm not gonna be able to do because I'll be in college.
Well,
That's cute.
I've been over at Fosty's a lot. We watch a lot of TV, play a lot of video games. Like there's no productivity going on here.
I've made bracelets.
She's been making bracelets.
I've been making friendship bracelets, and they're very fun, and they keep you occupied.
They keep her occupied. I
Who
don't know.
knows? Maybe we can give them to everybody once this whole thing's over.
Yeah, make me a friendship bracelet.
Yes, I will do that.
Okay.
I was thinking about this the other day, that I think one of the immediate changes when we go back is that when people sneeze, they'll still say, bless you. But, before there was nothing to say when you coughed, now it's going to be, damn, dude, you got a corona?
Yeah.
It's going to be customary now.
Or they're just going to scream like,
Get away.
coronavirus.
I got a bot that sent me like, those bots that send out like explicit things but they're like your number neighbor.
On Instagram?
No, on like text.
Yeah.
Well, this one isn't explicit, so I'll read it to you. Well, I had a bot that said, home quarantine, bore need Vatriola, BF, meet online now. And then everybody was texting the bot, like, stop. And then someone said, hey, number buddies. And I said, what up? And I said, any of you got the plague? And one of the guys had the plague. So, I think this is how bored people have really gotten, to where when they get spam texts, they're responding to the spam texts.
That's the whole new
So,
it's really getting to people's minds. I was watching this movie the other day, The Social Network, and there's this one scene that somebody slips a letter under somebody's door. And I'm like, you're really going to pick that up without sanitizing? You know that this is getting to your head when this is what you think.
It's also the Facebook community of the moms that they find random posts that say ginger will cure the coronavirus or these random things, and then it's just like I just get texts from my mom like, oh, you need to start doing this, and I'm like, it's not real. Stop.
Your mom believes all that stuff?
She doesn't believe in all of it, but there's some stuff that she's
essential oils.
Yeah.
Have you all seen those things that they assume conspiracy theories, that they say that they steal your information?
Wow.
Oh yeah, one of my friends like, don't use Zoom, they're gonna steal all your stuff. And then, like, in my eyes, China already has all my information.
Yeah.
I'm on TikTok. They already know everything they need to know about me. There's no point in trying to hide my stuff, you know?
So many hackers, man. I don't really care anymore. I don't have anything to hide. Go nuts.
Just ballpark, have fun.
Yeah, apparently they were getting into people's bank accounts. I heard of multiple people losing money.
From Zoom.
I have no
I don't
money.
have any money. I don't have.
That's only if you have your stuff where they can find it.
Yeah.
Getting everybody
Well,
stimulus checks.
Well, that's one thing is, like, I normally have a job and I work, and not being able to work is, like, I wish I could go back to work, but I work at the hospital, and so school took us out of work because obvious dangers. And I miss being able to go, and, like, I wish I could help people. I miss making money. So it's been rough just sitting at home.
That direct deposit hasn't hit the same ever since.
So one last thing to talk about before we go. Have all of y'all seen Tiger King?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can't talk about texting without dropping F-bombs, so I'm gonna stay out of this one. But I hate, like, I despise Carol Baskin with all of my heart. Like, it keeps me up at night. That's why I'm not sleeping, because of my hatred for Carol Baskin.
So y'all think she definitely killed her husband?
Definitely. There's-
100%.
Carol Baskin killed her husband. Joe Exotic did nothing wrong. And if
Whoa.
President Trump doesn't pardon
Joe
Joe
Exotic
Exotic,
definitely tried to get someone to kill Carol Baskin.
Yeah, but
okay, well that's warranted.
That's
Eye
She may
for an
have
eye.
been. I'm just saying that's a crime.
What have you done for Aiken?
She may have deserved
Look
it,
at
but
all
it's
this.
still a crime.
yeah, but Trump's gonna pardon him because he hates Carol
Oh,
Baskin.
100. I think Trump is gonna pardon him.
I'm sure
I
that
think that's
Tiger
gonna
King
go
is his number one
through.
priority right
Okay,
now.
whether or not Joe Exotic
Apparently.
hired someone to kill Carol Baskin, Joe Exotic single-handedly brought together the entire population of America against
To
a
hate
single
one
woman.
person.
I hate one person.
He did.
I gotta say, his music's growing on me too.
You know that it's actually not him singing, right?
what I said.
Yeah, that's what Frosty said, but I like to think that it is because I like him so much.
I just bet Party City is gonna have like thousands of Joe Exotic
my
costumes.
God. If they do that, they
my
might
brother cut a
actually come
mullet.
back.
Yeah.
My brother
Really?
cut a mullet because
Nice.
of Tiger King.
Wow.
Because he had like the big long hair, and he was like, it's getting too long, and he can't go get it cut. And so we were just like, why don't you cut it into a mullet? And he was like, yes, and he wants to keep it now.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You guys think a domestic dispute would be good for a podcast? Because Frosty and I are in a
Yes.
path. So
You're what?
we share cups of water, right? And I just finished the cup of water, and she said, you're going to go get more water. And I said, I can't get more water. I'm on the podcast. To which she said, too bad.
I didn't say too bad. I said it's about to be over. He said last question.
It wasn't. It was the last question on the topic.
No, he said before we go.
It actually was. And on this note, thank you very much for watching.
Oh, wait, no. We
And Jack, go get some water for your girlfriend.
like.
All right. Thank you very much. You were great guests, and
That was
stay
fun.
safe.
See you guys.
Bye, y'all.